Hey guys, this week I have been sick with the flu and holed up in bed all week, but because my mind can't stay still for more than 30 seconds at a time, I made this beanie. And in this video, I'm going to show you how I copied the pattern from this beanie, which I already own, and adapted it to make it my own. So grab yourself a cup of tea, settle in, and let's get started. So I was given this cream H&M beanie probably about 2 years ago for my birthday, and while I love the design, I've always thought that looks like something I could definitely make myself. And I also don't love the way that it sits on my head. It's just slightly too long for my face, and I like to pull my beanies down tight. And I know this beanie is supposed to be a little bit more slouchy, and when I pull it back and wear it like that, it looks okay. But I think I can do a little bit better. Step one in this process is to pick your color. Now recently I did a color analysis of my own skin and found out that I'm a deep soft summer. So while rummaging through my wool collection, I found this 8-ply merino wool in the color Totem, and it's the perfect deep soft summer blue to match my skin tone. Now if you're trying to make your own beanie at home, what you'll want to do is have a really good look at the wool and try and guess what ply of wool has been used for your existing beanie that you're trying to copy, because that will make a big difference to the size of your beanie. If the beanie you're trying to copy has been made in 4-ply and you use 8-ply, it may get really chunky really quickly and it'll be too big. So you sort of want to match like for like. It doesn't have to be perfect, and you can adjust as you go. But looking at my wool and looking at the H&M beanie I'm using, it looks like I've got a pretty good match. So the next thing I'm looking at is the construction of the beanie, and I can see that there's a seam running all the way down one side. That tells me that this beanie was knit as a flat piece and then sewn together at the end. Now you could do this as well using flat needles, but because I'm using circular needles, what that means is once I count up the amount of stitches that go all the way around the circumference of the beanie, I'm going to subtract a few stitches just to account for the seam allowance that they've done for this beanie. So starting at the rib at the bottom, I'm going to count the amount of stitches there are. And the easiest way to do this with a ribbed beanie like the one I've got is to just count the ribs. And so each rib will be 2 stitches because it's going to be a knit and a purl stitch. And so I counted all the way around and got 45 ribs, which means that there are 90 stitches in the circumference of my beanie. However, because I like to be a little bit different, I didn't want to just do your standard ribbed beanie. And recently I made a jumper for my nephew, which I really loved. And so I used a pattern in this big book of big baby clothes to draw my inspiration for the pattern. And it just so happened that the pattern that I was using from the baby book had a cast on of 93 stitches, and that's how many I was going to cast on. So the next step there is to pick the needles. Now for this wool, because it's 8-ply, you can see that it recommends using 4mm needles for the swatch. However, you can see from my pack here that I'm already using the 4mm needles for a different project. And because I'm sure that it's only 4-ply wool that's been used to knit the H&M beanie, I'm actually going to go smaller to account for the stitch differences. And so I ended up using 3.75mm needles. The next step is to cast on the 93 stitches. Now I did not film this because I was feeling really rubbish today, but you can see from this video that I used the knit stitch cast on, and I'll insert a video here. And I use the knit stitch cast on because it's my favorite pattern on the edge of a beanie, and I didn't intend to fold this beanie up in order to make a cuff. But stick around to the end and I'll show you what I would have done instead if I was able to do this beanie over. So once you've cast it on, your next step is just to follow the trim of whatever beanie you're copying. So if you're copying the H&M beanie that I'm doing, that would just be 1 knit, 1 purl, and that would give you rib all the way around the trim of your beanie. Now for me, because I'm following the pattern in this big baby book, I'm actually going to follow the pattern for the trim on the jumper instead. And this is where we come to our next problem, and that is that this big baby book, the pattern is written for flat knitting, and what that means is you have a right side and a wrong side, but you can see from the needles that I'm using that I'm knitting in the round. So what I need to do is convert the pattern from flat knitting into the round, and this is actually an easier process than you think. So the easiest way to explain this is by thinking about stocking stitch. So stocking stitch or stockinette stitch is knit on the right side, purl on the wrong side, knit on the right side, purl on the wrong side, back and forth until you get that stockinette look. And by alternating stitches on the right and wrong side, you're creating a uniform look on either side of your work. However, if you're knitting in the round, you essentially always want to be working on the right side of your project. That means you have to flip the knitting of whatever is on the wrong side. So if you're purling on the wrong side, that becomes knit. If you're knitting on the wrong side, that becomes purl. So instead of doing one row of knit, one row of purl, you need to go one row of knit, the next row knit, the next row knit, and that's going to give you that look. However, that is not all. So the other part of this is when you're knitting in the flat, you are going back and forward across the knitting needle, and that means that you're starting on the right side row on stitch 1, and say there's 10 stitches in your pattern, you're ending on stitch 10. Then you're starting the wrong side row on stitch 10 and knitting back to 1. But in knitting in the round, because you keep coming around the work, you're always going to start on the first stitch and end on the 10th stitch. Start on the first stitch, end on the 10th stitch. So you also have to flip the pattern back to front for the wrong side rows. And basically what that looks like is this. I've drawn out the pattern here, and you can see how I've converted all of the wrong side rows to the opposite stitch, so from knit to purl or purl to knit, and I've flipped the orientation around so that we're knitting all of the stitches in the right order. It sounds way more complex than it is, but all you need to remember really is for the wrong side rows, you just knit backwards and the opposite of what it says. So at this point in the knitting, I've stitched on about half of the cuff for my beanie. And what I would say is if you're unsure about the size, it's at this point that I would try and put it around your head. And if it feels too tight, the beanie is probably going to be too tight. But I matched mine against the H&M beanie, and you can see that it's just about a perfect fit. So I was happy with it. And then I started doing the pattern of the body. Now for the body, you basically just need to knit as much as you want to reach the top of your head. This is anywhere normally between 4 to 6 inches, but you can really do this one to whatever style you like. Because I wanted my beanie to be a little bit shorter than the H&M beanie, I made it a little bit smaller. But you can add more length if you have a bigger head, or if you just want more of a slouchy look to your beanie. And the only thing I'd say here is it's important to just make sure you keep comparing the size to your original beanie, because you don't want to get too far off track that it starts becoming something else entirely. Once you've knit about 4 to 6 inches of the beanie, or however long you want, the next step will be to start decreasing the pattern so that the beanie tapers off the top into a nice point. Now, the way I did this was pretty simple. My pattern was a 10 stitch pattern repeat, and I had 9 of them around the beanie. And so you can see here what I'm doing is counting the stitch repeats, which are essentially the triangles in my pattern, to see how many repeating patterns there are around the beanie, because each of those triangles is 10 stitches long. The next thing you'll need to do is start the decreases so that you can taper your beanie into a nice point. There's a couple of ways of doing this, but what I did for this beanie is I know that I want the stitches to decrease from the number we're at now to basically a single point over about 2 more inches, because that's how long I want the full beanie to be. So each of those little pattern repeats, which has the triangles, is about 1 inch. So I want to get from the 93 stitches that I have down to the smallest number possible by the 2-inch mark. So that's about 20 stitches following my pattern. Now for each of the decreases, I started at the start of each one of the pattern repeats, so each one of those triangles that you can see, and I decreased by doing the slip, slip, knit method. And you want to decrease evenly. And it gets a little bit complex, but I didn't initially start decreasing in every single row. I decreased firstly every 4 rows, and I did that twice. Then I decreased every other row, and I did that about 4 times. Then I decreased every other row, and I did that 4 times. And then I just decreased every single row after that. And that got me to the number of stitches that I wanted. Once you've done that, you can see there's this tiny little hole at the top, and it looks a little bit goofy, but essentially what you have to do once you've got the tiny little circle at the top is to cut your wool with a reasonable tail on it, probably about, I don't know, 30 centimeters, and weave on a tapestry needle. You're then going to sew through each of the stitches you have remaining in the circle. You can do this once or twice if you want it to give it a little bit more security, and then pull that needle and pull that yarn as tight as you can to close up the hole. And that will bring your beanie to a nice little closed point. And if you've done your decreases consistently across your pattern, you'll end up with a nice little flower on top as well, like I have here. And then all you need to do is just weave in your ends. And once you've weaved in your ends, you end up with a great beanie. And there you go. What do we think of the final beanie? I really like it. What do you guys think? If you like this beanie, go ahead and give me a like down below. Every bit helps. So this took me probably about, I would say in total, a couple of days to finish, because I was sitting in bed knitting it probably for about an hour at a time. But it's a super simple pattern once you get started, and I really like the way that it turned out. So that's it, guys. I hope if you're feeling a bit unwell, you can have a crack at doing something like this. And if you do, let me see what it looks like. I'd love to see it. Otherwise, have a great week, guys. I hope you feel better than I did.